True with Guns America. Today we are looking at something we don't look at very often here, and that is the cheapest thermal that we could find to show you here on the Guns America channel. So we're doing a dedicated publication on, it's called Decoding Darkness. It's about lights, lasers, thermals, night vision, that kind of stuff. And so I thought, you know what, we always do the kind of middle to top end stuff because I feel like that's what I want to use, but I recognize that not everybody has $4,000 or $6,000 or $8,000 and they might want to play in the thermal game as well. So today we're looking at a $849 thermal and we're going to show you what you get. All right, so I don't really know how you say this, but I'm going to just make a wild guess of this and call this the Goyojo. And this is the Goyojo GRL 335 thermal rifle scope. So this is the case it comes in. It's really actually pretty nice. It comes with an extra rubber eye cup for when you're using it mounted on a rifle. So I'm going to toss this for now, and I'm just going to walk you through the specs and the features, and then I'm going to trade you out for Tanner, my camera guy, who actually spent more time shooting this and using it than I did by a long shot. I'm going to let him tell you about his experience with it. So let's first of all start off by just telling you really quickly, this is a 384 sensor, so it's, you know, on the lower end. That's not bad, but it's a lower end. It's a 4x magnification. It's a 35 millimeter germanium objective. Your focus is right here. It's got, I believe, 7 color palettes in it. It's 12 micron. They're claiming that it's a net 25 millikelvin, which, if that's true, is actually really pretty good for a cheap, inexpensive thermal. It uses an 18650 battery, which mounts this direction, which is the direction it should mount, so you don't have issues with recoil. I'm just going to pop it out and show you. And it comes with that, which is nice. I think this is a great way to power these things up. These batteries are cheap, easy to find. They're all over Amazon or eBay. So you can have a whole pocket full of 18650s and just no issues. The housing on this is a aluminum magnesium alloy, and it actually feels really sturdy, really pretty good. It has a diopter that is adjustable so that you can adjust the menu or the reticle to your specific eye. And then the distance focus is this blue anodized aluminum ring out here. It does shoot video, it does take photos, it does have USB-C and an SD card slot. The mount that this comes with is actually substantially better than I thought it would be. I'm surprised and pleasantly surprised at that. I'm happy about this. It's adjustable here to fit specific pick rails. It locks on. To unlock this, you push this down, then this pops open. You know, we didn't do a return to zero test, but I'm sure it's going to not do too bad. The deal that goes in between your pick slots here is square, so there's not going to be a lot of play there, and then you can adjust the clamping pressure down pretty tight, so it's going to really lock on. The nice thing about that is if this is your total budget you're spending, you could pop this off, use it as a handheld, and pop it right back onto your scope. I would get some way to mark your pick rail on your rifle so that you get it back in the exact same spot. The power button is the closest one back here to the eyepiece, and you hold it down and it takes about 3-4 seconds, and then you see the Goyojo logo pop up, and I've got this popped out. The Goyojo logo is in there right now, and you know, I actually am pleasantly surprised by this. I've played with this a little bit, and while it's not as good as like the really high-end stuff, in fact it's really not at all as good, it's really pretty good for the price point of, I believe on Goyojo Outdoors website right now, it's $849. So if that's your budget, I don't know that you can beat this for having something that's actually got a reticle in it, has a compass. It's really not bad at all. In fact, it's a 1024 display. I'm looking at a car that's 200 yards away right now, and I can see a lot of detail on it. They're saying that they think the detection range on this is 1,800 meters. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I don't think it's quite that good, but I guess it all depends on what you're talking about seeing at that distance. So if you're talking about coyotes, I don't think you're going to see them. I know there were some deer up here at 500 or 600 yards a minute ago, and I'm not sure that I can see them right now, but they might not be there anymore. So I don't know about that. I mean, look, I can easily see a house that's a mile away. I can see cars that are that distance. I don't think there's an issue with that. The biggest problem you're going to have is making sure you can identify stuff. You're going to see white hot specks. I just don't know that you're going to know for sure what it is when it's an animal in grass like you might with a higher quality thermal. But hey, look, at 50, 100 yards, I think this is pretty good. That's just my opinion. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have Tanner talk to you about his impressions with this. He went out, sighted in, actually killed some stuff with it, had some frustrations with it, but he's spoiled. He's used expensive stuff too. So listen to what he has to say, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get an $8,000 thermal, and we're going to stick them side by side, and we're going to show you the footage taken at the exact same time, and maybe we'll go out to like 100 yards so you can see the difference between 8,000 and 849. You guys choose. Let us know in the comments which one you're going to spend your money on. So I'm going to turn this over to Tanner.
All right, so I'm Tanner, the cameraman. I spent a lot of time playing with this, and like True said, I've been spoiled. Like we said, for the price, this is a really good thermal. For, you know, a 1,500, 2,000, I think maybe you could get something a little better. Some of the issues that I ran into with it, the one that really frustrated me was we had a coyote at maybe 75, 50 yards, and it went into a bush, and then at that point, it looked just like a deer head. So I didn't take the shot. I had a perfect shot on the body. Didn't want to risk my hunting license, so I didn't take that shot. We were able to see badgers and stuff at like 50 yards. But for us, it was a lot of like, okay, is this for sure a badger? Can we shoot this? We had to look at the animal's behavior to really decide if we could take the shot. We had a badger come in at like 300 yards, and it looked like a fox at first. It was walking like a coyote. It was just hard to tell. Even deer, we saw a couple deer at 400 yards, and it was just really hard to get that detail that some of the more high-end thermals have. But like True's saying, for the money, I think this is a good thermal, a good budget thermal for sure. I didn't like that it was 4 times base magnification. We had a jackrabbit come at like, I don't even know, like 10 yards. And we just could not find it because it was so zoomed in. So that was a little difficult, is getting on target and finding the things up close. Zeroing this was actually pretty quick and easy. I just put out a cold water bottle. The sun was still up, and we were able to see that and make our adjustments as needed. One thing I do have to mention with this mount and this thermal is, as you can see here on the front, I dropped this thing. I was walking, fell in a badger hole, and the whole thing just smashed on the ground. And it held 0. So that was I was a little freaked out that I was gonna have to buy this thing or pay to fix it. But it held 0, and everything still works great. So I don't know what the actual specs are as far as drop safe and all that, but from where I am now to falling hard into a badger hole, it held up and it held 0. So overall, it's a good thermal. I would probably save and try and buy something a little better if it was me. But for someone that just wants to only spend that much, I think this is a great option. Definitely, I think one of the cheapest thermals that we've seen. That's not a toy. So.
Guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Not high end, not top end, but hey, this might actually appeal to more people and give you the ability to play in a game that has been really reserved for people with a lot of money or that wanted to live poor to have cool stuff. I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but this supposedly has a 5-year warranty from Goyojo, so take that for what it's worth. Anyway, you can find more on Goyojo Outdoors website. Go check it out. They also make a 25mm version, which is 3 power. So it's going to give you less detection range and less like distance in general, but you're going to have a little bit wider field of view. So that might be, if you're in real thick, heavy wooded areas that the longest distance would be 50-60 yards, definitely the 25 would be a better option, and it's a little cheaper as well. So anyway, tell us in the comments if you like this video. It's not every day you get to compare an 8000 with an 849, so tell us what you thought about that. Tell us if you think we're crazy. Oftentimes, what we see through this is better than what it comes out recorded. So these compress the video, and they're not always going to show you quite what you'd see. So take that with a grain of salt. It's probably slightly better out of both thermals in person than what you see in the video. So keep that in mind too. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you on the next one.